In this episode of the RV Small Talk podcast, well, PJ's back and I'm back, but Lindsay is not back. But we'll talk about where PJ went, where she camped, where I went, where I camped, and then we're going to meet a special guest who's here at Princecraft to show us something new. So let's dive into this episode of the RV Small Talk podcast.
Let's do it.
Welcome to the RV Small Talk podcast, where we talk about lightweight trailers, truck campers, and the people, places, and adventures that go right along with them. We're your hosts from Princecraft RV. I am Clint.
I'm PJ.
And yet again, no Lindsay today, but you know what? She'll probably show up somewhere, comments or something. She'll throw something in my head. That usually happens. If you have missed any episodes of this podcast, check out rvsmalltalk.com or join us on Facebook. Just look us up, RV Small Talk. We have a community group. And you can also head over to YouTube, where we have videos of our podcast and a few other fun videos too. But if you want to see what we look like when we're talking on the microphones, YouTube is the place.
Yeah. Unfortunately, our shining faces are there speaking all the crazy words you're hearing now.
Oh, we're all good with it. So join us anywhere you can. Find us on the interwebs. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts, that is the best place to leave a review. Please do that. Other podcast apps don't typically offer that, but if you are on a podcast app that does let you rate and review, go ahead and do it. It does help us a lot. The algorithms like to show highly rated podcasts to people. So,
and for all of you who subscribe, we thank you so much.
Yep.
We're glad we get to come and bother you every single week.
All right. Well, let's talk about the comings, the goings, what we've been up to. PJ, what have you been up to?
I went to Palo Canyon for 4 or 5 days. I can't even remember how much, but oh my gosh, what a beautiful place.
It is spectacular. It is really, really beautiful. Of course, it's not the Grand Canyon, but the beauty factor.
Okay, wait. Yeah, it is not the Grand Canyon.
But the beauty factor, I think, does rival the Grand Canyon.
It's gorgeous.
I think that having been to both, I haven't walked the whole Grand Canyon.
Not the whole thing?
That's a heck of a walk.
Just part of it.
Yeah. But the parts that I did see, and I did pop in at, I think, 3 different locations on it. Duro Canyon is spectacular from a beautiful standpoint.
It is the second largest canyon in the U.S. The first, of course, is the Grand Canyon, but it is in Texas, in the Panhandle. Yep. It's just south of Amarillo. Yeah. So definitely in the top of Texas. And we were talking about it. I've spent my whole life here. My husband spent his whole life here. Yeah. We have never been there. So that was what we went to do, is to go see Duro Canyon. And they are famous for an outdoor play that has been on for 56 years.
Ooh, I didn't realize it was that long.
56 years. So we wanted to see that as well. My husband is from Albany, which is a tiny town.
And it's not that far away from there.
It's not that far away from there. And they are famous for the other outdoor Texas play.
Ooh, are they rival plays?
They are rival plays. They're both kind of built on the history of Texas.
Yes.
And so the Fandangle, which is what they call it. I know it's kind of a weird name.
I want it. Yeah.
But it is this huge outdoor event. And there's, herds of cattle that come through and horses come flying through. And you just get all of this outdoor drama.
I love
because
it. The setting is fantastic.
It is. You
got the setting sun in the background.
Yes. Yeah. And the field is the stage. Yeah. Now, when we went to the play Texas, that's held inside Duro Canyon in the state park, there is a stage, but the backdrop to it is the cliff going up to a plateau. Yeah. And of course, it opens with the horse riding on the plateau with the setting sun and the Texas flag and crowds cheering. And I don't know, it was quite extraordinary.
Sure. So I like it. I like Duro Canyon because the sunrises and sunsets are amazing. Right. The wildlife down inside the canyon is really cool because it's a little bit of a microcosm. The wildlife just lives down there. Unless they're birds, in which case they're still flying quite low to get down into it.
The birds were amazing. Yeah. I mean, they were beautiful, just beautiful little birds. And you
have the full range, the little pretty ones, the Tweety birds and all. Yeah. And then you have some really serious eagles and hawks. and
Yep.
owls
Yep.
all throughout there.
We sat outside the visitor lodge and watched the swallows feed their babies because their nests were right
Yes.
there on the lodge.
The blue ones, the barn swallows.
I guess so.
Uh-huh.
They were kind of a grayish blue,
Okay.
maybe.
Sure.
But still very cool. There were so many of them. I mean, you could
Yeah.
just sit there and watch all these babies chirping one at a time. And man, they work hard to feed those babies.
You know it.
And then we saw, you could hear the barn owls and the hoot owls in between, and then these screechers.
Did you run across any snakes? Because when I was hiking those trails, and this was a decade ago, man, we almost stepped on so many snakes trying to warm themselves up in the middle of the paths.
Well, it was warm
Rattlesnakes
even
no
under
less.
a tree. Let me just tell you, it was warm everywhere.
Yeah.
We only saw one snake in the path, and I looked it up to see what it was because it was really beautiful. It was
Right.
kind of a grass snake size, and it was silver gray, and it had a black head with a yellow band around its neck.
No kidding. What was that? What was it?
And now I can't remember.
I'll ask you later.
I looked it up, but it was it kind of had a boring name, like black-headed snake name,
Right.
nothing. And they said it's tiny, it's not poisonous. They love to curl up in your hand, and
It's a pet snake.
Yes, and then they talk, and then right there on the internet, they're talking about. It was great because it didn't need a very big aquarium to live in, and it just kind of broke my heart. Seeing him on the trail running along, and to think somebody would grab that snake and put him in an aquarium.
I was going to say, you broke your heart because it needed an aquarium. It doesn't need an aquarium. It has Palo Duro Canyon.
Yeah. So anyway, that was the only snake we saw.
Sure.
Tons of the little spotted lizards running around.
Right.
I really
Horny
wanted to
toads are
see
out
a
there.
horny toad.
Yeah.
There was none.
You didn't see any.
Didn't see any.
Did you hang out near the ant bed, the ant mounds?
Well, there were ant mounds everywhere.
But did you hang out near them?
Well, the benches, I
Okay.
sat on benches when I was hiking because I needed rest.
Yeah.
But never saw a horny toad.
Huh.
Not one. But we marveled at they have the really big red ants and the real big
Yes,
black
they do.
ants.
Yes, they do.
And watching them carry things like 20 times their size.
Sure.
They were all panicked, searching for food.
Yeah.
And it was interesting to watch. The cicadas were out. So a lot of times you would see this dead cicada being carried by a mound of ants across the path.
They're going to go eat the,
It's just
the exoskeleton.
It's like, they're waddling this thing across the path. So tons of those.
Yeah.
Which was kind of cool. The noises, the birds, the cicadas singing at night.
It's a great outdoor experience.
It was just fabulous.
But we have to mention this big old elephant in the room.
Which is?
The heat that you camped in.
Yes.
Palo Duro Canyon to me is a late fall, winter, or early spring camp out after I did a summer camp out there. And it is beautiful in the summer. It really is. But it's so hot.
Yes, except the play named Texas, doesn't start until a week after Memorial Day.
You're right. And you and your family, you guys like theater.
Yes, so it was really kind of the reason that we planned to go at the time that we
You
did.
do know that you can watch it one night and not every night, right?
Well, you know what happened? I'm going to tell you this story, and it's kind of a long one, so I'll make it as short as I can.
Okay.
But
that's a good story. All right.
Yeah. It started actually the Thursday before. We went on a Thursday night. Supposed to start the Thursday before. The whole week was canceled because the theater got COVID. So we're sitting there
West
panicking.
Texas, and
well, and of course they've been rehearsing all this time.
Sure.
So everybody got COVID, and we're like
rehearsing all the kissing scenes that no one has.
I guess. I don't know. It's a big musical dance thing. So our play was supposed to be opening night. So we were very excited. We get there in the middle, right before intermission. He's explaining why thunderstorms that just immediately pop up in West Texas are like Beethoven to his ears in West Texas because he thought it was beautiful out there on the prairie.
Sure.
So as he's explaining about the wind, this giant gust of wind starts blowing through.
Could have timed it better.
And then he says the lightning, it is just like, the crescendo of the symphony. And the sky starts flashing,
Right.
and I mean, it was, the audience is just rolling. We are all just laughing our heads off. I can't believe that the actors weren't just busting up.
Yeah.
Because it was so on cue. Intermission comes, and within 5 minutes, it is pouring cats and dogs. And the entire theater is under this 10-foot strip at the top.
Right.
Because there's not a lot of cover.
Right.
30 minutes later, they canceled the rest of it. So opening night moved to the full opening night,
right,
where you got to see the whole play.
Right.
Oh, what I didn't tell you is near the end, right before intermission, one of their big things they're famous for, which I didn't know until I looked it up, is this pyrotechnics, where this huge bolt of lightning goes off in the back behind the stage.
Yes.
Right?
And it wakes you up.
Well, it was already the sky was flickering. I mean,
right.
And all of a sudden, this big crack of lightning.
You thought it was
we all thought it was real. And this hysterical audience went dead silent. I mean, you could have heard a pin drop.
Looking around. Are you dead? Am I dead? Are we dead?
wait, what just happened here? And of course, then the rest of it was called off. So we will never know what happened in Texas in the late 1800s now. We'll never know. Because we didn't see the last half.
Well, now you got to camp there again next summer.
We have to go back. So at any rate, it was really fun.
Yeah.
And we thought it would cool off the next day, but the next day it had a high of 107. So excited because I'm heading out, going home to Austin, which when I looked it up was going to be 108.
That's right. It's been so hot here.
It has been so stinking hot in Texas this week. But my office is air conditioned. I get one day here before I head out again.
But you're going to Ohio next.
I'm going to Sugar Creek,
and it's
Ohio.
Gonna be pleasant.
Yes, I can't wait for the U Camp.
Yeah.
New Camps Rally. So fun. I hope I'm going to see some of you guys there.
Yeah. So I was camping in Arkansas while you were camping at Palo Duro.
Yes.
And
tell me about Arkansas.
And guys, you won't believe it, but the Ozarks is really green and lush, and there's rain every day. Some of it, we had, I think, 6 inches one day.
Wow.
It rained every day.
Does it rain all day like it does in Texas?
No, it rained, it generally started in the evening, and it would rain till mid-morning. And then, I was up there because I wanted to ride a motorcycle around in the Ozarks. So
isn't it funny the things that we plan our vacations around?
Right. So I'm a beginner motorcycle rider, and we were way up. It's not the Rocky Mountains, but it is. We were camping at 2,800 feet. And so getting up there is gravel roads where you have a mountain on one side and deep cliff on the other side, and it's all loose gravel, and now it's slick, muddy, loose gravel. So I waited for the roads to dry out a bit, and
probably good because you have a brand new motorcycle. You bought it the week before you went.
I bought it 2 days before I went because I finally came to the conclusion I didn't trust the one I had been planning on taking.
Well,
but golly, I'm gonna go ride a motorcycle.
So tell me again what motorcycle you bought.
It's 2022 Kawasaki KLX 300. It is not a big motorcycle. It is not a powerful motorcycle, but it is a capable motorcycle. So it is a good beginner motorcycle. And it looks like a dirt bike with street legal lights and a plate. That's really what it is. It's a lightweight dirt bike that can move my heavy self around.
Well, fun to play with in the Ozarks.
Right.
How was it?
It was fantastic. I rode, I think if you total up all my riding time up there, I rode probably 6.5 hours, which is pretty daggum good for someone who's in a location they've never been and doesn't ride that much and is just trying to figure it out.
Yeah. So what'd you see that was amazing when you went riding on your motorcycle?
Again, it's green up there. It's so much in the tall trees. They have they do trees like they don't do in Texas, unless you're in certain pockets in East Texas or something like that.
Right.
But in East Texas, you have these tall trees like that, but everything around it isn't as lush and green. Like every single level in the Ozarks is this green because it rains so much.
Wow. You went to green, I went to brown.
Yeah. And it's 20 degrees cooler at the elevation I was, and it was raining a bit every day. I saw stretches of road that were just tree surrounded. It was picturesque. And then I rode through these tiny little towns that had nothing seemingly going on, but you pass over some really old bridges. And I was like, no one's here with me. You know, my wife wasn't riding with me. No one was riding with me. So I'm like, I'm all alone, which is cool. But nobody else who went on this camping trip with me saw the things I got to see.
Well, maybe you need to get Laura a motorcycle.
I'm working on it.
All right. Come on, Laura. Come on.
So, anyways, it was fantastic. The kids got to have time with their cousins, aunts, and uncles, and their grandparents up there. Lots of board games because it was raining.
Yeah.
We did a couple puzzles. There was lots of drawing and art because kids are all about that.
Kids do that. Yeah. Yeah. Very fun.
Cooking outside. Poison ivy everywhere, y'all.
Oh, goodness.
So much poison ivy.
Oh, goodness.
Mosquitoes weren't that much of a problem. You always hear Ozark's mosquitoes. That wasn't much of a problem, but they did have quite a few gnats. And they were, annoying.
Yeah.
Fantastic campground, 10 out of 10. Would do it again.
Good.
And I will totally camp in the Ozarks. Another location just to try it, but I'll totally camp the Ozarks again. Definitely.
Well, I will totally camp at Palo Duro again. Go see the whole play.
Yep.
But I don't mind waiting a year. It was exhausting and it was hot.
Yeah.
It was just so hot.
Yeah.
Next time I want to go where it's green. Isn't that amazing? June and it's so green and lush there.
Yeah.
That's
But
impressive.
it's the Ozarks. I guess it's what you should expect in the Ozarks.
Yeah. And there is nothing quite like family time when you're camping.
Right. And this
Just
campground
nothing like
was 100% no plugins and no campsite water. If you're going to get
You were
water.
boondocking, right?
It was boondocking. It was a small campground,
So what was the name of it?
White Rock Mountain.
White Rock Mountain.
And so.
Boy, that sounds like, they ought to be making homemade bread or something.
Right. So there's some
It's
good
a brand name of
overlooks.
something.
I mean, yeah. It seems like probably some gins or something back in the woods. Good. We could walk for 2 minutes from our campsite and be on the Ozark hiking trail, which is a massive trail system that crosses the entire Ozarks. And that's an amazing looking trail. That made me start thinking, this is something I want to do with my kids when they're in high school, is maybe do a backtracking trail sort of thing.
Kind of like an Appalachian Trail kind of event in the Ozarks.
Yeah, I don't think it's as well known, but I think it's that kind of scale of a hiking trip. So
Very cool.
It was something that kind of inspired the imagination, creativity, and it was a neat experience to have the trailer, but to be completely off grid with it.
Well, we both had different adventures, didn't we?
And welcome home.
Yeah. Same to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you glad to be back?
It's hot here.
It is hot here.
There are definite positives to being home. It's good to be getting back into the groove of things with maybe a little bit more pep in my step.
Yeah.
But I don't like coming home knowing that it's 107, 108 degrees.
Well,
and that we're in a massive drought.
Yes. Well, we have complained enough about that. There's
hard.
nothing we can do.
Yeah, okay.
So we just need to
Water
drink
the ground
plenty
with
of
my
water.
tears.
That's right. and wait it out. We just need to wait it out. We've got another week, they say.
All the droughts I've ever been in have always broken.
Yeah, it hasn't. It will not be 107 forever.
Yeah, I want a
but
tropical
it will
depression.
Be for now.
I want 2 tropical depressions. I don't need a big tropical storm.
Then we get hurricanes.
I don't need a hurricane. I just need a depression. A depression would raise my mood. Lift my spirits.
Okay, moving on, folks.
All right. So here in a second, we're going to go into an interview with, remind me his name.
Gary is coming by.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So we're going to see something we hadn't seen before.
This is kind of a drop in.
Yeah.
Gary is with
Rossmonster Overland. Now there's another company, it's Rossmonster Vans. It's the same people, but they started with vans, but now they're making straight up overlanding stuff.
Yeah. I'm pretty excited to see what it's like to chat with them, hear about it all. I'll have all the dumb questions and you can talk about all the techie stuff. How's that?
Fair.
All right.
Deal.
Well, I tell you what, I see that he is coming in now. So let's grab him and have a conversation.
Awesome. Let's do this. PJ, I think this is our surprise interview segment for this week. I don't even know what's going on. I showed up from being away for 7 days in Arkansas. You show up from being in the cauldron of Palo Duro Canyon in 100+ degree weather, and I wasn't even expecting you here. And who is this? This is not Lindsay.
No, Lindsay is not here, but I love surprises. I love them.
Okay, well, who are you?
Gary Smith from Rossmonster Overland.
Rossmonster Overland. Or is this like a swamp thing, or what kind of monster are we talking?
It is. It's an overland vehicle.
Okay. All right. So, PJ, did you invite this guy?
No. Are you kidding? My friends are not this cool.
I don't need no invitations.
Okay.
Yeah, he just wandered in. I don't know, We have a sign on the road still, so that must be it.
Okay, so can you tell me about this Rossmonster Overland? Because I did venture outside and I saw it for the first time with my eyes before seeing a website or anything. Tell me about it. Paint me a word picture.
It is an overland vehicle designed for people who want to get away from everything and live off the grid for a short period of time.
What makes a vehicle capable of that?
Solar panels,
like the dinky one I got from Amazon?
Like the dinky one from Amazon, only larger.
Oh, so much more of it. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Four-wheel drive.
Four-wheel drive, diesel. It's got an articulating top, so you can actually travel to where you need to go with somewhat ease and more streamlined. And then when you get to where you're at, it'll lift up the top, gives you luxury inside, so you can get away from it all.
PJ, if you were to describe this thing, looking at it from the outside, what does it look like to you?
Yeah.
It looks like a one-piece truck camper.
Okay.
It looks like a very clean, modern Earth Roamer.
Okay.
To me.
Okay, yeah. And Earth Roamer's a known name. You guys have been in business for how long?
Since 2015.
Okay, so I would say that's still pretty fresh to the scene.
Oh, absolutely.
And you're out of where? Where do you build these things?
We are in Colorado, the heart of overlanding.
That's true. That's absolutely
in
true.
Longmont.
In Longmont.
Mm-hmm. Just north of Denver.
Okay, so
and here I am telling your story like I know something. Yes. Can we start at the beginning? I want to know, 2015, what the heck happened to say, why don't we build something?
Yeah, what is the genesis story here?
A group of guys got together. Some of them are carpenters, some of them are electricians, some of them are designers. They're all really cool guys that love the outdoors and said, let's do something for a real overland vehicle using minivans.
Were they already kind of doing overlanding themselves and they're like, let's make our own?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Exactly right. And so they've got Sprinter vans, Mercedes, and they start doing custom work, overlanding for individuals. And it has just, we have a cult following in Colorado in the mountains area. And we came out with one really for two reasons. Number one, the Mercedes Sprinter vans and stuff are getting harder to get, harder to come by. And trucks are just not. You can get a diesel truck pretty easily. And they're very off-road capable, especially if you put a lift on them and some larger tires. And so they decided, let's design one. We call it the Baja. And let's design one that'll go overland and we'll put it on the back of a truck. And that's exactly what they did.
Okay, so what I'm definitely going to have to do for the video watchers of this podcast, audio, hop on over to our YouTube channel eventually and take a look. But on the video, I'm going to put some screenshots or whatever of this thing. But if I go out there, I see this particular build is on a Ford F-350 diesel. Yep. And it doesn't have a truck bed. Where the truck bed would be,
it's the camper.
Is a camper, and it's all molded fiberglass.
It's resin infused composite.
Okay.
Yep.
Resin infused composite. That sounds so high tech.
I know it.
I know. And the thing about it is that it's so lightweight.
And very strong. Yeah.
Yes.
Very durable.
Yes.
Now, when you're describing the articulating part, it's kind of like what we've seen in truck campers where you can have some pop-up truck campers, except for this is all hard-sided.
Correct.
And it has a lift system, so it's a push of a button, and this thing just goes on up.
Yep.
Almost dead silent.
It's almost like a shoebox. You know how a shoebox fits
Sure.
over the lower part? It lifts off of that and goes up. Again, it's all insulated, so there's no canvas involved, no cold
That's right.
can come in. It's all hard-sided.
Now, if you guys are familiar with the Alaskan truck camper, which was a staple in the what I would consider off-road
The
and
original
overland
off-road series,
way back when, then that is what this is. It is a hard shell with a pop-up.
That's
a hard
correct.
shell pop-up. There have been a lot of others that have tried a pop-up with little panels that fold
canvas
up.
panels.
Okay.
And yep.
Or a hard side that folds into where the canvas would be.
Okay, that sounds like an A-liner to me.
Well, kind of like an
Similar to
A-liner,
that,
but there's
yeah.
pop-up truck campers like that.
Okay.
There's been a lot of different versions. Four-wheel has done some cool stuff. This is super slick because the top is a molded one piece. The bottom is a molded one piece. It's part of your truck.
Sure.
You push a button and it simply expands. So impressed with the look of it and the function. My first question to you was, what's the lift system?
Yeah.
Because that's the scariest part for most people. If the
Right.
top doesn't go up, first of all, guys, if the top doesn't go up, I stood inside this and it's got to be 5'4" or so
Yeah,
on
it's
the
probably
inside.
5.5 with the top down.
And that's with the top down. So I was fine.
And I stood in it with the top up.
and Clint was not. But once you push the button,
was
the top
perfectly
goes
fine.
up.
Yeah.
So that is something that everybody who sees an operation like that is going to want to be sure that it's really dependable. So first question, on a Baja, do you have problems with that, with the roof lifting? I mean,
We have not. It's a pretty simple system. It's nothing, over-engineered or rocket science. So it's just simply a lift, and all the rods that lift it go up at one time. So
wow. Do you know how much it weighs? How much the roof weighs?
no, I don't, but I can definitely find that out.
That's
for you.
all right. That's one of the concerns that I think everybody has, because if that roof is heavy, then lifting it up is a strain.
Right.
Is there a manual way around it?
There is not a manual way around it. However, we haven't had any issues with the lift system whatsoever.
I'm just trying to
so-
make a problem
I
that
know.
isn't there.
Who is this lady?
I work for her.
Yeah.
I recognize her.
Well, that I'm just thinking like a customer. That's
Sure.
going to be the first thought.
Yep.
But if you can rattle this around going off-road
Yep.
and you don't have any lift problems, that's impressive. That's great design.
Yeah, we've tested the prototypes through everything. Departure angles, approach angles are really great for the truck. You don't drag the camper in the back or anything. You don't dig into the front going up a hill. So it's really off-road worthy.
Yeah. So what you looked at the lift system and all that, because you've dealt with truck camper lift systems for a while. You've also you can kind of in the same ballpark say slide systems. You always want to know what the slide mechanism is on a slide trailer. I looked in and I was like, well, they tout these things as being off-grid overlanding capable. So I was like, all right, where's the battery bank? Let me go see this battery bank and let me see what system is in there. So we lifted up where the batteries in the system is. It's a full-on Victron suite.
Yes.
If it's a Victron product, it's probably in this thing, which means that you can look at all the levels and charging and all that through apps on your phone. You control it. And this thing has how many amp hours of lithium ion in it right now?
600 amp hours of batteries. The solar array is 600. It's got a 3,000 inverter.
3,000 watt inverter. Okay.
Yep.
Which means you can.
You can run air conditioning, everything in there for days.
Yes.
So for those of you who are falling asleep because all the techie talk isn't interesting,
No one's falling asleep. It's techie talk. Techie talk time.
Well, y'all techie talk all you want.
It's like Ricky Tikki Tavi
It's
with the
got a
techie
whole
talk
bunch of
time.
them solar panels on top.
See, the
they
light
work-
goes in here.
They work real.
They work real good.
They work real good, and they'll just keep everything running.
Yeah.
Well, but that's what people want to know, though. I mean, all I want to know. All right, look, let's face it. 109 where you were yesterday in Texas, right? It'll be only 104 today.
Oh.
So, hey, We're going in the right
Just
direction.
open a window, you're fine.
Yeah. You might be fine. I would die. So the question is, the AC really does run on this thing off the grid.
We pulled into New Braunfels at an area it had no shade whatsoever. So it was deathly hot. We decided, let's turn on the air conditioner. At least we have a place to go in and cool off for a little while. So I put that on at about 7:30 in the morning when it was only 94.
Right.
I think it was. So we put that on. It started cooling down. It was a nice refuge. And I thought, well, I'll keep an eye on the battery bank just to make sure everything's okay. Because it was not in eco mode. It was on full blast.
Sure.
Hey, well, it's 94. It's 94, so which means it was 104 inside their trailer.
We left that running, and it was quite comfortable inside. I think I put it at 72.
Oh, yeah.
And
That's nice.
so it was nice inside.
Yeah.
I kept looking at the battery bank. It just wasn't going down much at all.
Solar was still feeding it.
The solar panel. Yeah, the solar was still working.
The system was doing what it was.
Up. It was keeping up. And at 7:30 when we left, we were down right at about 50%. Of battery capacity, but that had stayed on the entire, I guess, 12 hours.
That's a very rigorous test.
It was.
So in a lot of other camping scenarios, that's proving that it will be more than capable.
Yes. Well, the only thing that concerned me was the amount of condensation because of the humidity.
Oh, yeah.
It was flowing water from the top.
Sure.
You had a river running off the top.
It was a river off the top. It was a waterfall in itself.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
so the off-road experience of the waterfall.
Right.
People like waterfalls.
That is
it's like a spritzer.
Well, people pay for that to kind of put them to sleep at night, having the water running off, and it's free, right?
The ambiance is free.
But if you go off-road, as long as you're not in the redwood forest and you have solar, then you've got 12 hours. But if you do drive into the redwoods, how long do you think you would have without solar replenishing it? 6-8 hours?
I would think probably between 4 and 6 hours at full blast, being conservative. I mean, if you put it on eco mode and maybe not, made it 75 or 78 inside there, you might get a little more. But
you still have other options. You can still... Yes, it's not on a diesel truck platform. You
you
turn on the truck.
Yep, diesel runs at idle and doesn't burn much gas, and it does have a 100-watt inverter, so it'll charge those batteries just by running your diesel.
Or you can plug into a portable inverter generator. Exactly. So you still have a lot of options here on how to extend your stay.
Your off-grid stay.
Yeah, I can do without everything, but all I need is it to cool off at night so I can sleep.
Enough, yeah.
And we hear that all the time.
Absolutely.
In Texas. Maybe not so much in Colorado because they're going to be off-roading in the mountains.
40 degrees at night. So
and it cools off at night. But here in Texas, man, there are times that it cools off to maybe 90 at night.
I pulled into Abilene at 11:30 Thursday night of last week, and it was 102 at 11:30 at night.
Crazy, huh?
Yeah, I said this is hot, and I did the same thing. I just turned it on and cooled it down to where it was comfortable. It also has 2 max air fans too, and that helps initiate.
That's not a big space for 2 fans, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, wow,
good.
Yeah,
air
we got
flow.
one over. There's 2 beds in it. One is a dinette that goes into a bed, and the other is a full queen bed up top. Both of them, just above the bed, have the max fans.
Now, we're talking specifically about the one that you brought to show us.
Correct.
It's on a long bed platform. You also have a few configurations that are short bed platform. What kind of things can people expect? You brought a fully featured one,
correct,
for us to see. What's that mean? What's full featured for you guys?
Our expedition packages are only option, really, and that includes custom-made front and rear bumpers
on the vehicle,
and then a winch, a 12,000-pound Warren winch. We have molly panels in the back, so you can put your skis back there, your mountain bikes, whatever you want to put in the back. It also includes the awning, which is a 13-foot awning. Right. But I think that's on the standard model also. And then, that's about it.
What truck platforms do you guys work with?
Just about anything. We preferred the Ford simply because it's easier for us to get. But we can get anything. The Chevrolet 3500. We do put them on 1-ton vehicles. And then we also have the Dodge that we work with also, which is, I know, your favorite, PJ.
Oh. Now you're gonna put me on the spot on air.
And she does own one.
Yes, we have the 1500 that I tow with, and it tows it just fine. It just isn't the most stable truck, but it's the most comfortable, and it has the biggest screen for my husband's bad eyes. So, it's got some perks. Well, it's just not my favorite.
I loved my half-ton Ram. It was a fantastic. Right. You got one too? No, I don't. Okay. I used to.
But yours wasn't built for towing. Steve has one. We do have some here.
No, I loved it. It was a fantastic urban truck at a half-ton, coil springs. The thing drove fantastic. It didn't tow as good as I wanted, which is why I'm in a Ford right now, is because it just towed in a half-ton range.
In those coil springs, you get what you ask for. You get a beautiful ride, a great urban truck.
Right.
Yeah, you just get a little less.
Oh, the creature features.
There's trade-offs.
Yeah, there is certainly trade-offs. So,
but the cabin is fantastic.
Yeah, it's awesome. That part I love.
Yeah.
And since I'm normally the passenger when I'm in that truck, I got no issues.
Sure.
It's all right.
All right, so take us again back to Colorado, where you guys are building these things. Kind of get us our minds wrapped around the type of people who make your product.
What was that noise? I don't know if I like that noise. This is
quite the group, quite the outdoors group. If you can pull Ross from Rossmonster away from fly fishing and Luke, the co-founder, away from whitewater rafting, you can probably get some work done. But they love their outdoors.
Okay.
There's probably guys up there with $3,000 vehicles and $8,000 mountain bikes. So it's that type of group.
That's a commitment level. You can tell whenever. Okay, you drive a beater so you can enjoy life.
Yeah. Colorado is a very unique place. The people love being outdoors, and it's more conducive to being outdoors. We don't have the 104 degrees that we get up here.
Right.
And I think I called home last night, and they were like, "Oh my God, it's so hot today. We're at 78."
And we would kill for 78.
Now Denver,
78.
I did. I think Denver was 98 yesterday, so it's a
It's
a heat wave through Denver right now. But Denver does reach the hundreds sometimes, but up in the mountains we just don't.
Well, it's surrounded by mountains, so it's kind of that little
it's a little pocket
dip
of
in
heat
there. Yeah. So it heats up if it doesn't get the breeze going in the right direction.
And it's close enough to Kansas where the
don't bring up Kansas.
We have a thing about Kansas on this podcast. I don't know how it started.
Is it true that the Denver International Airport, because I've flown in and out of it a few times, is built in the most tornado-prone portion of the state? It's like we're just asking for it.
And not only are they asking for it, but they have a canvas roof.
Yeah. Right.
What?
The roof is canvas.
It's a beautiful airport. It is, but it's like I'm in danger.
There's no tornado shelters into the canvas.
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding. The roof is canvas.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Well, it's worth it. Take your life in your hands and fly into Denver.
That's right. It's better than Aspen, where you drop in from 30,000 feet straight down.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys have been building since you said 2015.
Yeah, we started doing the minivans, the monster truck minivans.
Sure.
Rossmonstervans.com.
So
minivans doesn't sound very off-road,
sounds very
does it?
soccer.
It's like a
sounds kind of
Town and Country.
Yeah. Yeah, we had the Caravan.
But I tell you what, I've seen pictures. They are super cool vans.
Yeah, they're good off-road vehicles also.
Yeah, super cool.
Where have your customers been taking these things?
Everywhere.
And
from Alaska,
do they
Canada.
feed you back some photos and all that?
Every now and then they do, but people buy these to get away from other people.
Sure.
And that's what they do. They don't.
So we're not going to find the majority of your customers living on social media.
No.
Okay.
No, these are people that really like to get away and go to extreme places. You run up to a little ice melt waterfall at 14,000 feet and camp with yourself and your two dogs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
That's what this is all about.
Sounds awesome.
It does, doesn't it?
It does. And I just got back from the Ozarks where I got just a little touch of that because we were in a camping situation where there was no power and no water. Walk to get your water sort of situation.
Did you have cell service?
We did have cell service. I don't know where I'd have to be because the Ozarks are, there's little populations all over in the Ozarks. So I think that there's pretty good coverage up there.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good run at that type of camping for my kids. Get them started. I didn't get started that way. I camped, I think, if I remember correctly, I camped in a tent growing up. And this is all the camping I did. Maybe I can remember 5 times total before college. And so I didn't have those experiences. So I'm going to get those kids out there. Let's do this. So yeah, you're talking about going places. It's kind of the dream.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. I talked to my brother who lives in Houston, and he and his wife go camping. But their idea of camping is anything under $149 hotel. So that's right. That's their idea of camping.
Oh, that's just scary. That's not camping. Camping is a whole lot safer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Isn't it though?
A whole lot safer.
Yeah, it's nice. The Baja is a fun rig. It has a pass through from the cabin area into the camping area.
Similar to a class. What is it? C?
Yep, Class C.
So,
Similar to that. You can walk from where you sit driving into the back and get a drink or whatever. But it's nice because you can take your dogs and they can go sleep in the back cushions and sleep on the floor. You don't have to have them all piled on your lap and stuff. So it's very off-road overland user friendly.
There's all kinds of categories in the RV world. There's the Class A, which is the big motorhomes. There's the B vans,
B and B plus,
and B plus, which is kind of where you started building a van. And then there's truck campers.
Yeah, this is definitely, I would classify it as a Class C, but a Class C on steroids.
I don't know that it's a Class C is generally a big, kind of a motorhome with a big overhead bed above the cab. And you certainly got that, but it's more of a van size. It's a van size Class C, but Class C is so family oriented.
I can park this.
Just doesn't.
I went to HEB right down the street from where you guys are, and it was pretty full. It was on a Sunday, and I can pull this into just a regular spot,
a regular parking space,
because its footprint is just a
slightly longer than a regular Ford truck.
Which we have parking spaces for those around here in Texas.
Yeah, obviously.
So it's like a truck camper, only it's
on steroids.
One piece, off-road capable.
Correct.
And I just can't stress enough. It looks so super cool on the outside.
Yeah, you feel like a rock star driving down the road.
You do.
Yeah,
you do.
All the thumbs up you get, and you stop for gas, and you guaranteed 30 minutes of talking about it.
Yeah.
It looks striking from the get-go, just standard. But I can see someone going, ooh, that is begging for a vinyl wrap.
I was about to say, you put a wrap on it. Man, how cool would that be?
Yeah.
I would save up money to do that. if it were mine. So
well,
it can be.
But it can be.
What's it going to take today to put you in a home?
So very much. I got kids.
Well, that begs the question. Let's talk. I know that Clint will hate this, and he may edit it out. But just in case he doesn't, roundabout pricing on these guys.
If you put a bunch of options on it, you're looking at about between $225 and $250.
Okay.
And that's the majority of that is the Dadgum Truck right now.
Right. Right.
Diesel, 4-wheel drive, crew cab.
Because you go get a brand new truck.
That's correct.
To build this on top of. And it's not a basic truck. It is a 1-ton diesel 4x4.
That's right.
And so that's your starting point.
Yep.
And then those big custom bumpers.
Yeah.
The big winches. Bumpers,
the bigger tires, off-road aluminum wheels. Yeah.
Okay. Here's the next question. What's it like to drive? It's still, even with the top that comes down, so it lowers your center of
Yeah,
gravity.
it's more streamlined for sure.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'll distract him. You go joyride it real quick.
Would you?
It's no different than just driving a regular truck. If anything, it's a little bit better because I don't think our whole camper weighs as much as the regular bed on the truck with all the metal. Again, this is a composite, so it's
Really?
very lightweight.
I think that would mess with me after having driven around with some fairly heavy, sizable truck campers, standard build and all that. I think that would mess with me because I would know that I have this mass that takes up the same space.
You really get used to it.
As a truck camper?
No, you just don't even notice it. And, it's not any higher than a normal truck, so you don't have to worry about pulling in McDonald's into their drive-through or anything else. And it makes it pretty simple.
Man.
Wow.
It's the fact that it lowers down to a more streamlined mode makes all the difference. You're not having a big camper in the back of your truck.
Not bucking the wind.
Exactly. Yeah. You're not fighting the headwind all the time.
So you're going to loan me one of these to try out, right?
Absolutely not.
I had to ask, all right? It's worth a shot. Hey, since he wasn't going to buy one, I thought I'd try.
Well, let's
Not
come
yet.
down to the level where he would find a yes.
Yeah.
So here's another question. What are you doing? Because you guys sell these things, have been selling them right out of Colorado.
Correct.
Why are you visiting us?
We are not selling direct anymore. We are going to go through dealers because the dealers know their clientele. We don't have to have someone fly all the way out to take a look at one in Colorado. And then if they have to make a bet, purchase, they go back home and then they have to come back and check it out. So this is all going to be done through the dealers and Princess, I think, is a great fit with you guys in the overlanding that you're already doing. It's just a great
Princess
marriage.
Craft.
Princess
I'm going to
Craft.
jump in there. Princess Craft.
RV.
We are not Princess. That would be me.
Princess Craft.
There's but one.
Princess Craft RV.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think it's a great fit. You're already doing off-road overland trailers. This is just a glorified. It's already got the chassis on it, so it's ready to go. I think you guys are all. You just got back from hiking. You're in Ozarks. Yeah. This is a great fit.
We like being a dealership that actually has people inside the walls who go outside the walls.
Walk the walk and talk the talk.
And camp. Steve, you were talking to him earlier. He goes on canoeing trips annually, and it's usually a week-long trip, so they're canoe camping and stuff like that.
Yeah, and he's got a Peloton.
And he's got a Peloton, so
Well, that just means he's cool, or he thinks he's cool, okay?
that means he has a subscription.
But I will tell you, I have eaten some of the things he's cooked on that Peloton. And
Wait. He cooks on his bike? He cooks on a Peloton?
Oh, a Peloton. Totally. I thought you were...
What's he talking about?
The Peloton is a bike. I don't know
I
what
knew
you're talking
that,
about.
yeah.
Blackstone?
No,
Scottle?
he has the, what is the cook thing?
The green egg?
Yeah, I think he's
I
got
don't know.
a green
I don't
egg,
know.
too. He
I
had
can
something
vouch
else.
for Steve cooking because Steve is a fantastic cook. I just don't see him doing it while riding his Peloton.
Oh, no. Well, yeah, it's all done on your phone anyway, half the time. I mean, we're all about
got
the
blue-
gadgets,
Oh, one
right?
of those
Bluetooth cooking.
sous chef thingies.
See, now you're
sous vide.
talking.
He calls it a sous vide? Is it a sous vide?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'll look it up. If I find it, I'll put it on the video.
We have a lot of those in Colorado.
I'm hungry. Does that help any here?
the sous vide brews?
There's a lot of people who are baked in Colorado.
right now.
Well, we have a ton of fun with working with all the off-road people that we have here. And we are, like so many people, we're kind of on the edge of it a lot of times. And we're learning. We're learning more about it. We're learning how to do it. We get excited seeing some of the things that are out there, what they can do. And I think we'll all be doing a little bit more of that. And the technology is really stepping
Is arriving,
forward.
yeah. It's
I
getting
mean,
there.
every week we are installing solar and lithium and power sources and charging systems and you name it. Literally every week someone comes in and wants something, and some of the systems we put in are $2,500. Some of them are $10,000 or $15,000,
Right.
depending on what they want done.
Yeah.
It's super fun what's available out there.
Yeah, I when the first thing I was asked, does it have an air conditioner when I was coming to Texas? Oh, does it have
right.
an air conditioner?
Yeah. It's
And then,
important.
yeah, plus we've got solar panels. Oh, but you have to plug in for the air conditioner. No. They're like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Right.
That's really nice to be able to go off the beaten path. You're not plugged in anywhere. You don't have cell service, and you can still be comfortable.
Yep. Yep. And we used to tell people, and not too long ago, we would say, yeah, but you need a bank of batteries and a bank of solar, and it's
We have
really
3 batteries.
just not practical.
But
Well, now it is practical
this thing arrives with that,
with it.
with the
That's
power
right.
capacity
That's right.
and with the solar, the charging capacity. It just shows up with it all.
Yeah.
Well, if you want a nice, comfortable, off-grid vehicle, it has to have that.
Yeah. And
Has
have
to
the,
have
have the
that.
capability of pulling your boat or your side-by-side. And
Yep.
and that's what
Right.
the diesel does. Plenty of power.
Yeah.
Well, I am super, super excited.
Yeah.
Tell me, you guys sell 3 products right now. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Can you just review those 3 products that you guys sell?
We've been doing the minivans for quite some time and have a great reputation for building a stellar off-road vehicle minivan.
That website is Rossmonster Vans.
Rossmonster Vans, and then Rossmonster Overland.
Okay.
Then we
kinda
do
hard
the
to say,
Baja-
Rossmonster.
We need an
Rossmonster.
acronym.
I know it. RMO.
There you go.
So we do the Baja, and we do it in a short bed version and the long bed version.
Okay.
And we also do a Lacombe, which is a kind of like an RTT hardtop.
Rooftop tent, folks.
A rooftop tent, but without the canvas. It's all hard sided.
I've seen online, since you showed it to me just a little bit ago, that it's once it's popped up, which is an easy system. It's like you said, hard sided, but the windows, it's like
Yeah, your
whoa, panoramic view.
your front and your back windows are plexi.
Yeah,
So you have complete view, and plus you can leave them up if you want them up. and
Sure.
so you can have the
Catch a
flow through
breeze.
ventilation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they have a max air vent over that also. It doesn't have air conditioning, but it does have the max air vent. So it's more for the Gladiator, Tundra, F-150 guy that wants to go off road.
Sure. We'll tell Cody. That's his thing.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. We have a little bit of everything here at Princess Craft, right?
All of us are trying our own different ways of camping,
That's right.
but as a group, our ways of camping are getting further and further off grid over time,
That's true.
which is probably
true.
happening to a lot of people.
Yeah. I don't even find going to an RV park at all entertaining. If I want to be next door to somebody, that's not my idea of camping.
I cannot tell you how many people we have here that come to buy, and they have never camped. They've never camped outside of an RV park for sure. Or they've camped a few times, but they've never been off the grid. But they want something that has that possibility.
Yeah.
And we say, okay, well, do you have plans? No, we don't even know how to do it. But we want to be able to try it.
Yeah.
PJ, why don't we have a trip planner here? Let's hire someone who can help people plan their trips.
Yeah, just give them dispersed camping areas and say, here's
Yeah,
where you go. And
what do you really want to do? We have someone who can help you make those plans.
Get right on that,
what
Clint.
area are you going to? And this is where the dispersed camping is. We have an
That is
app.
not Texas.
Yeah.
There's dispersed camping in Texas.
It's
Not-
not at the
Arkansas there is.
availability.
I know.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
But the availability isn't what I would love to see.
Yeah.
So
Well, I camped next to some folks from Dripping Springs. And they had like 5 acres, and they had a couple of hookups, and one of them's kind of away, one's next to the house kind of thing. So they were having people just come camp as they came through. And they said they had to quit for the summer. Campers were just too high maintenance.
yeah,
And I thought, okay, well, we really do need to help campers get more comfortable. Like Cody was talking earlier, he comes to our rallies that we have. We have 3 rallies a year, and a lot of that is just helping people understand their equipment and what they have. And most of their equipment is not that high tech,
Right.
but they're just not sure of the availability. The off-road crowd is the opposite end of the spectrum. They dream of 1,000 things. They want it to do everything, and be able to go anywhere. And then they come in. Then they come in.
My microphone.
I know. My hands go everywhere. But then they come into the market and they know all the techie stuff. They want it all in one place.
Yeah.
And that's your market. We see the other side so much of the time.
Mm-hmm.
They want to be that guy, but they don't know how.
Sure.
So a few more off-grid campouts where we just tell people, you don't have to know what you're doing. Come join us.
Okay.
We've done it before.
Yeah.
That's what we need to do.
I think that's a great idea. Give people an opportunity to see all the different gear that's out there and how to use it. And they may realize, I've got to have that.
Sure.
I've got to have that piece of gear.
Sure.
That's right. Or just the very basics. What can my gear do?
Yeah.
And it will only do a fraction of what your gear can do, but it's enough to get out there.
Absolutely.
So,
Dip your toes in the water.
and I guess, because I get the feeling we might be wrapping up, I want to say something about the interior.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we haven't really touched
Here
on
we
that.
go.
The interior, first of all, it is an overland style vehicle on the inside. So it's very utilitarian, but very impressed with the style and the feel of it.
It's not cold. It's not cold. It has some
it's
character
so
and
true.
personality.
And it feels like kind of high-end utilitarian.
It's luxury. There's some luxury in there.
It does. You've got a nice big induction oven, stovetop.
Stovetop.
Sorry, my words are all mixed up today.
Baja.
That's okay. You were in a very hot camping situation for a whole week.
You're just
may have-
giving me excuses. I have had 2 cups of coffee. I got nothing. I'm just tongue-tied today and brain-tied apparently. So, but I really loved around the back of it is a big U-shaped dinette.
Yeah.
It's super comfortable. You've got a lagoon table that swivels all around.
Lots of windows.
The windows on the side that
memory foam
open.
mattress. That thing was
Yes.
fantastic.
Yes,
It's very comfortable.
And the panels on the side are a fabric. And before you panic, it is a very durable fabric that cleans. It's always the first thing I ask about. But there isn't a whole lot of metal sticking out. It's just well covered, well finished.
Yeah. I don't think it's overdone at all, but it's just, it's what you need and nothing more.
Yeah, but it feels nice. It doesn't feel like you are rudimentary camping.
Right.
And now for the kind of money that you pay for this rig, a lot of that is going towards the high-tech gear in it. But to have the finish out be nice and clean. And the colors, there are a few choices of colors. And I am telling you, it's just impressive to see how pretty.
Sure.
And I will use the word pretty. It is a pretty camper. I will. It's gorgeous. I was really impressed. The wood slats that you put on the bottom of the shower, the composting toilet in there. I mean, it's usable. It's clean.
Don't forget that vent's going outside too. So
Yes.
that really helps.
Yes, all venting outside.
Especially if you're with Clint.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm not camping in the same camper with Clint. We have
Can't
camped.
deny.
We have camped in an alley behind the building all in a row, but he has his own camper.
Yeah,
That's right.
Thank you very much. But yeah, I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
I just have to tell you that part was impressive, and I know most people are going to be interested in all the gear and the whiz bang things
Yeah.
that it does, and roto packs attached to the back, and the fold down table on the side. All these things.
Yeah, the Max Tracks.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the inside, I was impressed.
Very comfortable.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's very comfortable, very spacious. When it's popped up to the highest height, how tall is it?
I think it's 7'1".
Over 7 feet tall, and that's probably part of the reason why it felt so comfortable
So
in there.
roomy in there. Yeah.
Yes,
It's not
because of the
claustrophobic
height.
at all.
No, it is not. So I don't know. Just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah.
You got the nice sink. It's just a good space.
Can I mean,
Please do.
ask a question?
Can we stop you?
No.
Just saying.
Is there anything behind? Because it's Rossmonster. What's behind? I mean, I get the Ross. That's his name. But what's the monster? How did this come about? Is there a story there?
The co-owner is Luke. Is he the monster?
He is. Ross is the Rossmonster. It is, and I'm sorry that I don't know it right now. It's on our website. It's actually Swedish, and it means something. And actually, the MON, the N, I think, has 2 dots.
Right,
over
it does. Yes.
And the same with their other Lacombe. It's Swedish, and I think it means, I don't know, something to be out there. Or,
I'll look it up. Yeah,
please do. It's on our website.
So is Ross Swedish?
I don't know.
That's funny because our Vorshir Overland trailer they're playing off of Nordic imagery and all that for their name, Vorshir. And here you have Monster. Which is Nordic being Swedish and all that.
Yeah.
So, and I like all of them because I'm Swedish. So,
well, if it had been from Texas, we would have called it Ross Barbecue. And it just
I have a feeling somewhere in Texas that's already used.
Ross Barbecue Overland. It didn't. The ring wasn't.
Just isn't the same.
It's not the same. It just doesn't create that.
Well, and Monster has to be relatable, but I mean, what a great name for an overland vehicle.
Exactly.
Right.
Rossmonster.
The monster.
It feels like you're attacking it. Something. You're like, I'm going into the woods.
Yeah.
Big
going
and
up a mountain.
hefty and mean and
Yeah. And it has an air conditioner, therefore nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice monster.
cool ventilated monster.
We're going to call it the Ross Coolster.
New products always available.
That's right.
I bet that name isn't taken.
Yeah, I bet it's not.
Might do well in Texas.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Cool Monster. Ross Cool Monster.
That's not bad.
There you go.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, PJ, any more questions?
Oh, gosh, I have so many, I think we have bored everyone to tears because the questions I would now ask, no one else cares about.
We're going to see these showing up here at Princess Craft. Not this one that you're traveling around with.
But I'm going to say probably around the fall time you're going to experience the Overland.
Okay.
The Rossmonster.
Okay. Which if it's here soon enough,
he is going to lend me one.
Well, if it's here soon enough, we are hoping to make a showing at the Texas Avid Outdoors Festival.
Oh, we'll be there for sure. We'll be there for sure.
And that's in September?
Last weekend of September. It's that weekend that bridges September and October.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll have one.
And this is 2022 for those of you who are listening sometime in the future.
Right.
So there is another one you said coming up in Tennessee.
Yeah, that's another expo, and I'll have to get you the dates.
Is that
the exact location
Overland East, or is that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you guys will be there as well.
Yes.
All right.
We've already committed to that. We just finished Arizona, and that one's over, and that was spectacular.
Oh, it's always spectacular out there.
Yeah, very good.
Cool.
All right. Well, we'll have that in the show notes for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks so much for joining us, and because you didn't expect us to bust out the camera.
I'm
and
having fun with this
microphone.
microphone.
Well, we didn't expect you to wander in, so
That's
it's
true.
all fair. Okay.
Touche.
You know, we never know.
Touche.
Love it.
All right. Okay.
Cool.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Man, so glad you wandered into Princess Craft today.
Like a homeless.
You had air conditioning. You're fine.
That's right.
You're welcome anytime. Thanks, Gary.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so we saw something new with Gary, and what do you think? Do you think we can sell those?
Absolutely. And you know why I think we can sell those?
Why?
Because I love them.
Okay.
I love them. And you know what?
Gut feeling is this is cool, and someone else will think it's cool.
I know I should have better business sense and think about, what's good for the market, what's the percentage of sales, all of that kind of stuff. The reality is, if it's something that I love, there's going to be somebody else who loves it too.
Right.
Now, I may not be the extreme overlander,
Yeah.
but I can tell you, I know those folks, and they're humans just like me.
Right.
They want it to function. They want it to do everything it needs to do. They want not a lot of fluff, and everybody loves cool styling.
Right.
And this has all of those things. I mean, how can you build this overland vehicle that really is kind of a Class C, only Class C just sounds so family.
Right.
I mean, this is just a big expandable van kind of thing. But it not only looks cool, it performs.
Right.
I
It's well
love
thought
the
out.
style.
Yeah.
And it weighs less than a standard truck.
Sure.
All of that gear and all the composite that it's made out of weighs less than a standard truck
Right.
bed.
Very
I
modern
it just
materials.
blows my mind.
Good craftsmanship. They actually have some. While I was bumping around a little bit, there's some videos that they put out that you meet the founder of the business and all that, and he's like hand tools woodworker.
Yeah.
Kind of experience. So I like that. And that they have, the Scandinavian ties and they, it's neat. I think there's a story behind it. And I think that it's a perfect vehicle to write stories with.
Well, we will learn more as it goes along.
Sure.
But I love the fact that they build just a super cool thing. And, honestly, who wouldn't want something that didn't feel unique?
Right.
And hand built.
Unique
Who
hand built.
wouldn't want that?
And not unique and hand built and sit on a shelf, but unique hand built and crazy capable.
Yeah. That's true. Anyway, you and I just got back from camping.
Mm-hmm.
If I had one of those, man, I'd be ready to go again tomorrow.
Well,
that's for sure.
Considering that you could run that AC off the batteries and charge it back up off of the solar.
I know.
The thing is ready to go.
Didn't we just complain about it being hot in Texas
And
for
yet
like
this thing could do it.
20 minutes? So I don't know. Very impressed. I really appreciate Gary dropping in and deciding to trust us with the product. Very, very honored.
Very
So,
cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's wrap this one up.
Okay.
Okay. So again, if you are checking this out and you're like, I want to hear more episodes, just check out the other episodes in your podcast player of choice and rate and review us. If you're in a podcast player that will allow you to do that, you can find show notes at rvsmalltalk.com and you can find us on social media and on YouTube. Just look us up. We are there. Do come camping with us. We run right now 3 camping rallies a year, 2 in the spring and 1 in the fall. So check out the Texas Tiny Trailer Rally and the Texas Truck Camper Rally. The 3 of us are at these rallies and we have a blast, and their spots are limited. So go to TexasTinyTrailerRally.com or TexasTruckCamperRally.com and find out the information.
However you stay connected, just stay connected to us. We love talking to you. We love hearing from you. Friday noon live, which is actually 12:30 Central Time. We are online on Facebook, chatting with anybody who has a question, comment, or just wants to say hello. So join us there too, and we will look forward to chatting with you sometime in the future.
Very good. All right, everybody, that wraps it up. That's this episode of the RV Small Talk podcast. Thanks so much for joining us.
See you next time.